The snowstorm had already swallowed most of the road, turning the quiet outskirts of Calgary into a frozen trap. Visibility was near zero. Cars had stopped. People had turned back. But one woman, hands trembling on the steering wheel of her black luxury SUV, pressed on. Her name was Emily Hart, CEO of a global tech company, one of Canada's youngest billionaires. But at that moment, none of that mattered. Her phone was dead. Her heater was failing. And her car had just jerked, groaned, and given up completely. She sat there, stranded in the middle of a rural stretch with no signal and nowhere to go. Snowflakes drifted like confetti against the windshield as the cold slowly crept in. Panic was beginning to settle into her chest. No assistants, no chauffeurs, no staff to call. For the first time in years, she was completely alone and powerless. Miles away, in a modest garage tucked behind a diner, 43-year-old Mark Dawson sipped lukewarm coffee, wiping grease from his hands. Life hadn't been kind to him lately. After losing his wife to cancer 2 winters ago, he buried himself and worked to avoid the ache. Money was tight, and the garage barely got by. Still, he never turned anyone away, no matter how broke, no matter how bad the snow. His police scanner crackled faintly on the counter. A weather alert. Road closure updates. And then a faint report. Black SUV spotted stuck near mile marker 12. No further details. Assistance unavailable due to storm conditions. Mark didn't hesitate. He grabbed his coat, tools, and chains and fired up his old pickup. An hour later, through blinding snow and bone-chilling wind, Mark found her. Her car was half buried in white, the hood frozen shut. When he knocked on her window, she jumped. Her eyes were red from crying, lips pale. She rolled it down slowly, surprised to see a stranger with the warmest eyes she'd ever seen. "I'm Mark. I run a shop a few miles back. You look like you could use some help." Emily blinked, hesitating. "My car, it just stopped. No heat. No phone. I didn't think anyone would come. I couldn't leave someone out here. Not in this storm." He got to work right away, his hands stiff with cold, but he didn't stop. Eventually, he realized the battery was dead, the fuel line frozen. No quick fix. He told her gently, "You can't stay out here. Come back with me. We'll figure something out in the morning." She hesitated again, and used to relying on strangers. But something about Mark's voice, the way he looked at her without recognizing her, made her feel safe. Real. Back at the garage, he lit the stove and poured her some hot soup. The warmth hit her soul harder than she expected. They talked for hours about weather, about life, never once about money or business. She didn't mention who she was. And he never asked. He told her about his wife, how she used to love the snow. He laughed as he described how clumsy he was on their first date. Emily listened with quiet awe. No one had spoken to her like this in years, like she was just a person. When morning came, the snow had calmed. Mark got to work on her car, even though she insisted he didn't have to. When she tried to pay, he refused. "You're safe now. That's all I care about." Before she left, she scribbled her name and number on a torn receipt. "If you ever need anything, Mark, call me." He nodded, still unaware of who she truly was. A week later, Mark's small garage got a call. A luxury tow truck arrived. Then, a representative. Then another. Within days, his garage was upgraded, debts cleared, and equipment replaced. Confused, he called the number she gave him. Emily answered, laughing softly. "I told you to call me if you needed anything." You're that Emily Hart? "I'm also just someone who was cold and scared in the snow, and you saved me. You didn't know who I was, and you helped me anyway. That kind of heart? It deserves everything good." Mark stood there, phone shaking in his hand, eyes filled with tears he hadn't shed in years. That winter, 2 lives changed, not because of wealth, but because one man showed kindness when no one was watching. And a woman, used to being seen for her power, was finally seen for her humanity. In a world too often driven by status and screens, their story reminded everyone across Canada, the truest worth of a person is found in what they give when there's nothing to gain.